Boom, boom. Welcome, one and all, to a 10-minute training. This week, I want to talk about how do you choose a coach? Because loads of you have spoken to me over the years, and the same question crops up. How do we know you're any good, Johnny? Is there any proof, etc.? And for me, that's a really important question. And it's absolutely the right one to ask. And I would encourage you all to keep asking those kinds of questions, because quite frankly, there is quite a bit of snake oil and BS out there online when it comes to online coaches. So I think that the smart way of protecting yourself from the spiely marketing coolness of all those coaches out there is to check these three critical elements before you try and buy any coaching service online, particularly when it's someone you just don't know that well. All right. And the first thing is this. Ask this question: do they specialize in coaching people just like me? Or are they happy to take money from just about anyone? Yeah. So have a little look at who their client base is. It's easy to do for me because I coach executives. And if you look at my client base, it's full of senior people, which suggests that I've narrowed my focus after to just looking after one kind of person, the executive crowd. And that's been true for the last 5 years. I am bringing on other services for other communities, but I'm not going to be one running those. Helen and Alina are. But if you looked at my recommendations on LinkedIn, for example, you would see they're all of a similar and high level to executives like yourself. And that's one big clue that actually, any coach who can demonstrate that actually my client base is all of an ilk, they're all very similar, and they're like you, then that's normally a good sign. Yeah. If they're like, well, I've got a variety of clients from different walks of life and at different levels, how are they specializing? How are they discriminating and reducing their service down to people they know they can help really well? Or are they just taking money from anybody who offer it? Yeah. So have a little look at the consistency of the client base and whether or not it's like you. Yeah. Is it consistent with each other and consistent with yourself? So that's the first thing. Look for specialism, for want of a better phrase. Don't look at what the marketing says, because they'll tell you whatever it is that'll take to part you from your money. Look at who the clients are. Yeah, which there are plenty of coaches on LinkedIn. You can look at their recommendations and you can see for yourself who's recommending them and are they like you and are they like each other. Yeah, and if that coach has narrowed it down to a specialism, then this is normally a good thing. Yeah. The second thing is find out what those clients are saying about the coach. Are they saying good things? Coaches can cut and paste stuff onto a website, but there's no way of knowing whether those people said those words or even who those people are. It's just a mugshot and a quote, whatever. Whereas if you look at a coach on LinkedIn, you can look at their recommendations. Do they have any? If they do, is it a lot? And what are those people saying? Yeah. You can just click through to the profile of the person giving the recommendation and message them. Yeah. You can have that conversation without the coach even knowing that it's going on, right? And that's going to help you out tons. Okay. What do they like to work with? Did it work for you? What do you wish you knew before you started? What would you recommend, or what would you counsel someone about if they were thinking of doing it? You hear it directly from the customers. You don't even have to have the coach involved. All right. So I think that, have a look at the recommendations. Are there any? If there are there a lot? Are they saying good things? And are there people there that you think, actually, they're quite a lot like me? I want to speak to them too. Find out. All right. Do your research. It's not that complicated, particularly on LinkedIn. Literally, click on coach, go down to recommendations, click through the person's profile, click message, and talk. And that's it. You're going to get a much more, I would say, honest. It's not that coaches are dishonest, but perhaps they might, they might just put the best light forward, whereas a past customer will give you warts and all. And maybe they're not the right coach for you. That doesn't mean to say they're a bad coach. Maybe you say, for example, me, you might hear from somebody who's been an alumni of mine, or who is an alumni of mine. He's quite assertive. He doesn't. It doesn't allow you to slack off. He's very much present every week to make sure that you are maintaining momentum and energy and getting across the finish line. He's not just going to take your money and ignore you. So expect someone who's going to be hands-on. If that's not for you, that's okay. All right, but it's better to know that beforehand than discover that I am quite a hands-on in your face coach. Yeah. With plenty of practical support. If that's not what you want, then get a different coach. Yeah? And you can find that out by speaking to the customers. So first things first is, who are their customers? Are they specialized? And if so, is it to people like you? And what are those customers saying? Yeah? Particularly about, I mean, there's lots of coaches out there that are good, but whether they're your flavor or not, that's another matter. So you want to find that out. Are they your flavor? People come to me because I am a fairly robust character. I am quite assertive, and I will make sure you cross the finish line. Sometimes I have to give you a hug to get it done. Sometimes I have to give you a slight boot up the backside, and you'll get both. And a lot of coaches are reticent to do the boot up the backside bit. They'll just let you flail as long as they're dishing out tea and sympathy. They feel like they're doing their bit. And I'm like, it's not good enough. You bought and paid for a result. So find out what they're saying, what the customers are saying. And the third thing is there any kind of warranty? What happens if it doesn't work out? Is there any guarantee? If they aren't prepared to say, as long as you do the work, you'll get the result, if they say, well, it depends, there's no certainty, there's no guarantees in this one, that's not true. And you know what? There is a guarantee. And if you're a master of your craft, then you can absolutely guarantee a result, as long as the person you're teaching puts the work in. You can't wave a magic wand and make it happen for them. But if they do all the things you tell them to do, they should expect a result. Otherwise, what the hell are they paying you for? And so for me, those are the three things. Do they specialize in people just like you? What do the people who are their clients say, and are they any good, and is it your flavor? And third, can they back it up with any kind of warranty? And if you're not getting ticks in those boxes, then maybe give it a swerve. All right. There's plenty of coaches out there, including me, by the way. If you hear, wow, he's really good at his stuff, but I'm not certain that that's my style, that's okay. That's the whole point of finding out, isn't it? You can then go, do you know what? I want someone who's a bit fluffier, a bit cuddlier, a bit more, I don't know, tea and biscuits. And if that's what gets the best out of you, then you should do that. Yeah, but do find out. Gordon's saying, afternoon all. Afternoon, Gordon. How are you? Gordon, was that helpful? Was that useful? Give me some feedback while we're live. If they specialize in someone like you, and their customers are saying lots of lovely things that match what you would hope for from a coach, and you can independently check that for yourself rather than rely on website quotes, then and there's some kind of warranty or guarantee, then suddenly things start to get much more serious and real, doesn't it? Oh no, that's there's definitely something there. Those are the things I tick off when I'm looking for a coach. Not just me, but any coach out there. Yeah, because online marketing, which I suppose is the world I exist in, is full of it out there. It's some really people telling tall stories out there, like, yeah, no, we're great, we do this, that, and the other. Like, okay, fine, let's find out, shall we? And now I want to share something with you that's coming up in a bit. In fact, let's pause that there. I just wanted to highlight something to you that was really important to you, which really tickled me when it happened. I wasn't expecting it. It came out of the blue. I haven't had a discussion with this particular customer before, but this customer, a chap called J.W. Phillips, JW, he was American. He gave me the highest possible recommendation. That's a quote from the recommendation on LinkedIn. I give Johnny Walker my highest possible recommendation. I'm like, that's interesting, because he's not a client. I haven't received a cent from him, and I haven't coached him on a thing. And so I read the rest of the recommendation, thinking that's unusual. And the reason he gave it to me was because he did not work with me. Yeah, he is not a client of mine. I was like, this is really unusual. Instead of taking his money, I referred him to some other sources which I thought would be more appropriate for him. And that's not me, blowing sunshine on my own backside. I'm a lovely person, etc. It's me letting you know that 99% of the time I can help you, but the once in a blue moon that I can't, I'll say so. Right? I won't just take you on for the sake of the money. I'd rather have the results. Right? And if I can't help you, then there's just no point. Right? We've got a raft of video recommendations that we're creating right now, which will go on in the next few weeks, and that's really interesting because you can hear whether people are scripted or whether or not they're genuinely saying it from the heart, and whether there's authenticity there. And there are people there that we've helped absolutely nail it this year. So we've gone the next step on, and rather than have them write something, we're going to record them and just let them answer the questions honestly. And so if you look at a coach and they help out people just like you, and they're saying good things, and there is a guarantee, and the coach doesn't cough and splutter when you ask for those recommendations, and If they say they're confidential, it's absolute rubbish. I've got over 100 highly paid executives that are happy to speak. It's not confidential at all. At that level, everybody's got a coach for something or other. It's commonplace. So if they're coughing and sputtering and won't fess up to the recommendations, won't let you see who the clients are, and all the rest of it, I'm thinking that's a big red flag that they possibly will just take money from anybody. All right. If there's no guarantee, do you know what? I mean, certain coaching you can't guarantee because the result is a bit ephemeral. It's a bit like things like mindset coaching or life coaching. I think there's an argument there to say that what are we guaranteeing? Even if we could guarantee it, what would that be? And sometimes it's about mindset. But things I'm coaching, career coaching, job seeking coaching, they are binary. Either you did get more money, either you did get your ideal job, either you did get it faster, or not. And that's really easy to measure. So there you go. Get those 3 things ticked off, and you are home free. Gordon saying it's interesting to see some of the traps. Yeah, I think that you're right about that, Gordon. So there we go. A little bit of how do you choose a coach? And anyway, we've spilled over the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap things up now, and I'll see you all on the next 10-minute training. Take care. Bye now.